Hi everybody, I hope you guys are good. So today we're going to be summarizing hashtag career exploration, which is the month of March. So this was a hashtag career exploration 2025, baby. Today we are going to talk about what I personally learned in the process, in the journey of March, in the journey of hashtag career exploration 2025. And then on Facebook, you are going to comment on what you learned specifically on the month of March 2025. And the best comment, which will be voted on by our fellow audience, will win themselves a pair of the March earrings, a certificate of participation, and a mention in our monthly newsletter. Right. So our first guest was Musa Dlamini. He took us through on how to choose your career path, the best way to choose your career path, the best way to know who you are so that you choose a path that speaks directly to you, speaks directly to your being. So he mentioned programs that permit you to go to other countries whereby they groom you for a path, a 9-to-5 career path. He mentioned a lot of things, but then what I personally learned is the fact that you should just open your eyes. Every time after finishing your Form 5, or every time you feel like you're stuck in a rut career-wise, just don't be afraid to shout. Don't be afraid to knock on these doors, to ask for help on how to further develop yourself, on what's next. So that's why I learned that most of the time, our people, our youth, they finish Form 5 and they're stuck on what's next. Some of them just drop out because this formal education system is not for them. So they just drop out and then they're stuck. They're confused on what is there to do next, right? So don't be afraid to knock on these doors, on Musa's doors, on these organizations' doors, which help you, literally hold your hand to help you on what's next. And then on the following week, we interviewed professionals from different fields. On the first week, we started interviewing professionals from traditional fields. We had Malagani Dlamini, who is my brother. Yes, I come after him. He's a teacher on the field. And then we had a Progen, Zwane Dube, who is my mother. Yes, that's my biological mother, everybody. Yes, he also took us through the teaching field, but also taking us through how pension life feels like. She's a pensioner, so you get the best of both worlds. You get the feel of how teaching was back in the day and what it feels like living as a pensioner. And then we had Nozipho Zubugo, who is a nurse born and bred in the kingdom of Eswatini. She takes us through the process of being a nurse in Eswatini during the COVID era and whatnot, and how it feels like being a nurse in the United Kingdom. She compares these two settings and how it felt like being a frontliner during the COVID era. And then on the following week, we tackled professions from emerging fields which are new, the new age field, right? Whereby we had Milo Nzimanze. She's a veterinary assistant. She took us through what it feels like, the pros and cons and all that. And then we had Stopi Sugati, who is a homeopath, a registered homeopath. She took us through the pros and cons of homeopathy. And then we had Michelle Dube, who took us through the journey of ICT. And then on the final week, we discussed professions from non-conventional fields, right? So we had Duduzi Mdura Dlamini, a comedian / MC. He took us through what it feels like being a comedian, how it feels, the downfall of it, what society sees him to be, what society says to him, how society views him, right? As he journeyed through being a comedian and an MC, which is non-conventional. People were just looking at him, side-eyeing him, and relatives and all that, telling him that is that all that is, you should go out there and find yourself a normal job, because according to our society, a normal job is a regular 9-to-5, right? That's what they were urging him to do. So if you are in a non-conventional field and you feel stuck, you feel confused, you feel lost, you feel like you've chosen the wrong path, you're asking yourself, what is wrong with me? What have I done to myself? But I'm not relating to this 9 to 5 thing, or I'm not relating to entrepreneurship or whatnot, right? So just view this video. They will take us through, they will give you advice, motivation, and just a way forward, how to push through in a world whereby these things are frowned upon. And then we went on to talk to Thandeka Thala Hlophe, who is a full-time caregiver, a homemaker, stay-at-home mom, housewife, whatever you choose to call it, as to how she got to understand herself as that, and what are her downfalls too, what are her hills and mountains in the journey of being a full-time mom. And then after her, we spoke to Anele Mambantuli, who is a full-time farmer and entrepreneur. She's also shares her struggles, her enormous struggles, as to how much hard it is to be an entrepreneur. In as much as you feel like, yes, the working hours are flexible, you work at your own time, there's nobody who's doing a follow-up, you don't have bosses sitting on your neck and all that, but there are challenges, and they're severe, sometimes even more severe than in the regular 9 to 5 gig. So just go and watch. As for me personally, I learned so much from this journey. I mean, a lot. Some related to the content, some not. It was just haywire for me. Sometimes a person would want to help you, but then disappear. Sometimes the video wouldn't load. Sometimes the whole thing would crash, and you'd have to go again and track and re-record. It was pre-recorded. It was a mess. I had to compile. I had to spend so much time on this thing and just put a stop in my business to focus on editing these videos. It was so much, it drained me. But then, as Mputuzi, Thandeka and Anele, they say that you have to know the why. Know the why you started doing this thing, and that will give you motivation enough to push on, even when the struggle is killing your neck, the struggle is sitting on your neck, even though the mountain is as steep as hell, but you know the why you are doing this thing in the first place. I think the passion for doing what I'm doing encouraged me to push on, even though there were so many obstacles in doing this much lesson or initiative, whatever you choose to call it. It was a bit of a struggle. I prefer the live, because in that way you set a date and time for the guest, and then done and dusted. But here I had to hunt down people, ask them to record these videos, and then compile them. Sometimes somebody would go AWOL, and then the rest of the week is again lost to finding somebody else who will also fail to record the video, or sometimes send it and it will crash, and then we have to go. It was, yeah, I had so many challenges with the merge. So I learned a lot. I learned resilience. I learned patience. I learned the why of this initiative. So I'm here for the long haul, no matter how hard it is. Another thing I learned is I'm part of the people who are in the non-conventional field, and the struggles they face are 100% mine. And I'd always think that, okay, I'm on the wrong path. Am I on the wrong path? Am I on the wrong path? Am I doing it right? Right. I'd sometimes go directly into deep depression. I'll be lost. I'll be stuck in the rut. I'll be crying my eyes out and all that. But only to find that I'm not alone in this thing. There are people like Mtura, there are people like Thandeka, there are people like Anele who are going through the same thing as I am, and they are pushing through, and they have techniques on how to push through. So I learned from them, and also I learned that teaching and all these 9 to 5 routes and these traditional roots, they are not bread and butter. In as much as they've been here for a very long time, it seems like in the eyes of society a path has been paved for them, has been paved, and the path is clear. But no, they also go through their own personal specific challenges, which are in line with them, specifically them individual selves. And with these emerging paths, we may be like, oh wow, they look amazing and glorified in the outside world as we see a society, and we're like, oh wow, it's the new age thing, must be nice doing it. But no, they're still paving this path thing. They're still trying to educate society, raise awareness on how this thing works and how it works in line with the traditional thing. They are not here to fight the traditional system. They are here to work hand in hand with the traditional system. They are here to modify the traditional system. But yeah, anything new meets its resistance, right? So they are dealing with that, and it's a mess on their end too. And also with the non-professional field, they are not, it's not like they're doing something like, woo, wow, at least you're not doing anything and you're being paid for it. Oh, you're just staying at home and you're being paid for it. Oh, you are happy you're not doing anything in life. No, it's not that. Because even if it's passion, you have to know the why, because society will be against you. And even if it seems like they're not doing anything to you, the emotional work, the mental work they have to put through. Imagine these people are fighting against society. So society is against them. Society believes that they're not doing anything. Society believes that these people are lazy because they're supposed to be doing the traditional 9 to 5 route. So they're fighting against their emotional health. They're fighting against their mental health. They're fighting against society. They're fighting against trying to make this thing work. So literally what I learned is everything in this world, whether you're doing it for passion, for reasons reasons around passion, or reasons around money, or reasons around just staying active, or whatever reason it may be, whatever you are doing, as long as you are putting your energy in it, as long as you are putting your time in it, it will cost you immensely, massively, and it will drain you either way. Anyway, what did you learn? I'm willing to hear. And also, I'm introducing something new starting from the month of April, whereby I'll ask for people to record a 2-minute video minimum 30-second video, whereby you are just recording yourself and telling us what you learned in this month, and then an edited version will be posted on YouTube and Facebook. After the live session, I will compile these videos and then post them on YouTube and Facebook in line with the summary video. Then comment on the Facebook video. Comment under that so that will win themselves a pair of these March earrings, color of your choice, and a certificate of participation, and also will be included in our monthly newsletter. Bye.